Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome to College of Lore. My name is Kate.
And I'm Jill.
And
And
what are we doing, Jill?
today we're going to play a GM-less D&D game. Kate and I have created ourselves as D&D characters. And we're going to use the Mythic Game Master Emulator as our GM. And we're going to use a variety of different source books, random tables, and just a variety of different sources to create our adventure from scratch.
Which I'm extremely interested to try. Jill has been doing this on her own for a while, and you've been doing it with a couple other friends as well, right?
Yeah, I tried it with another friend who is also named Kate. Hi, Kate, if you're out there. And we've been playing it like play by post, and I've been playing by myself. You can kind of see some like setup stuff over there. I've been playing by myself a little bit, myself how to play Pathfinder 2nd edition. So that way, when I eventually GM that game, I'll kind of have an idea of how it runs.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, and it's working out pretty good.
So yeah.
I'm looking forward to trying it with you.
What Jill and I have decided to do is we each created a level 1 character, and it's us. It's our Kate and Jill College of Lore characters. So you can see we have our little banner up there today to show what our two characters look like. My character's a level 1 druid, and yep.
Mine's a bird.
Yay! So you've seen level 20 versions of these characters that we rolled to fight the Tarrasque with, but these are the little baby level 1 characters. We're gonna just, whenever we don't have anything else on Tuesday to stream, we're just gonna run little adventures with these characters. So we will level them up and watch them grow.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I actually closed so I've got my character sheet, and I think you do as well on D&D Beyond. I just closed it for some reason.
Yeah, and this is something, like, I've created characters on D&D Beyond before, but like I was just telling Jill, I usually just create a PDF after I'm done creating the character and then use that, but I'm going to try, it's all on D&D Beyond. I'm going to try that. Okay.
So, one of the first things I think we should do is maybe we could come up with a backstory for ourselves. Oh, you look like you...
I closed the Google Doc. Can you... Is it shared? Where was it created? Oh, I found it.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Okay. Crisis averted.
Whew, we're good. All right. Okay, continue. Okay. Sorry.
So, you looked way more scared than I thought for that level of what was happening. Like, the look on your face, I thought maybe you, like, your computer just caught on fire or something.
What was going through my head was, the link is in Discord, and if I click away to find it, our little faces will just... go away.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
that is true.
I was like, what do I do? I found it. It's good. I found it.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I thought the first thing we could do maybe, and this could inform where in the world we are or what our situation is, but I thought maybe we would open Xanathar's Guide to Everything and open to page 69. Nice. And we'll go to our life events table.
All right.
And I figured we could each roll a D100 and see what we get, and that might help us to figure out what happened in our lives and inform our decisions moving forward.
Sure. Okay.
That way we know a little bit about ourselves. Because these are fantasy us. Because they're not like literally us. These are fantasy us.
Right. Because Neil asked me this earlier. We were on a walk with the dog, and he's like, "So, like, how closely did you build your character to actually reflect yourself?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, I tried to make it like me, but I'm not actually a druid,
right?
So this is just pretend."
exactly.
When it comes down to it.
Yeah, and that's where like fake life events and stuff like that come in, because we aren't like, I'm not including my family or like real life friends or anything. It's just not supposed to be a reflection of my real life. It's just supposed to be like a little fantasy version that is not connected to my real life at all.
Yeah, like the character is created to be like me as much as possible, but she's gonna have her own life path. Yeah.
We don't want to get confused, because if one of our characters dies, that's going to be like
real
kind
awkward.
Of bleak.
Yeah.
So we're kind of separating ourselves a bit from that.
Yeah.
All right. So I rolled a big ol' 9.
Okay.
And oh my goodness. So my life event is that I've suffered a tragedy, and that I'll roll on the tragedies table. Okay. So, oh shoot, I forgot. The table right before this says life events by age.
Oh, okay.
You and I are both in the 21 to 30. Oh no, we aren't. Oh my god, we're in the 31
Jill,
to 40
we're
category.
We're both in the 31 to 40 category. That's
so
really
that means
funny.
we need to roll 1d6
to find out how
to
many
see how many life events we've had so far.
Okay. 1d6.
Kate, I rolled 6.
I got 2. Okay.
What if I just get 6 I guess
so you're going to do 3 of yours, then I'll do 1 of mine. Then you do 3 of yours and I'll do 1 of mine.
Okay, I got 1 tragedy, 60.
You should roll the tragedy first.
Okay.
And then like write it down so we don't forget.
Okay, sure. Okay, well, I'll just quickly say I rolled a 60 for the next thing. You spent time working in a job related to your background. Start the game with an extra 2d6.
Ooh, sweet.
That'll come in handy.
Nice.
Okay, so I'll remember to roll that in a second.
Right now? It tells me I should have some gold, right? Where's my gold? Extras? No.
Okay. Ready for my tragedy? 7. A lover disappeared without a trace. You have been looking for that person ever since. That already is a really good like plot hook.
You're looking.
Adventure.
Yeah, you're looking for your lover.
Oh, that's sad. Okay.
That's so sad.
Okay, I'll write that down. I have like a tiny little book that I'm gonna write notes in and then make it nice later. Looking for lost lover, and then 2d6 gold pieces.
Nice.
I'm working as a bird.
Yeah.
Birding around. So that maybe while
or it could have been some other job.
Yeah, it said that it was related to
your background.
And I was mine's an entertainer.
Oh, okay.
Because in real life, I worked in animation for a good few years, so I consider that entertainer.
For sure.
Okay, and then my last of the first 3 life events is 17. You gained a bit of good fortune. Roll on the boons table.
That's nice.
That is nice. Okay, the boons table is a d10. And I got a 6.
Ooh, you get a trinket.
Ooh, 1 additional trinket. Okay, 1 trinket. Okay, you roll.
Okay, so this is a D100.
Yeah.
22. You fell in love or got married. If you get this result more than once, you can choose to have a child instead. Work with your DM to determine the identity of your love interest. I'm married.
Like real life.
Oh my gosh. Married. Okay. Okay, now you get to do 3 more.
Oh my god. Okay.
That was so easy.
Okay. I got 80. You went on an adventure. Roll on the adventures table to see what happened to you. Work with your DM to determine the nature of the adventure and the creatures you encountered.
You went on an adventure without me?
You might have went too, just because it wasn't, maybe it didn't mean as much to you as it meant to me. So it was like, you're like, that wasn't my life event.
Whatever.
But like,
that was boring.
99. Yeah, exactly. You were like, well, here, this was the adventure you and I went on as one of our earlier quests. We found a considerable amount of treasure on our adventure, and we have 1d20 plus 50 gold pieces left from the share of it. So let's
no, you
split
have
whatever.
No, you have.
No, we should split it because I've decided that we were on the adventure together. So that will be, well, actually, it says as your share of it. We could each have that amount because we were both on the adventure.
Sure.
Right?
That seems legit.
So, I think so. See, the point of not having a DM is that we are the DM.
Yeah.
And we decided before we saw what the adventure was that we went together.
Yes.
So it wasn't, because if it was bad, it might have been like, you know, you lose a finger and it's like, well, we both lose a finger. Sorry, Kate.
Jeez.
So,
okay. All right. So how much gold? Yeah.
Plus 50. So up to 70 gold.
So oh yeah, but that's not what you rolled.
But, well, yeah, I didn't roll it yet. Well, you can roll your own, obviously. But
oh, really?
Yeah, roll a d20 and then add 50.
If it's your share, then it should be whatever you roll. Because we would have
I might have spent some of mine, or you might have spent some of yours.
Okay, so I roll a d20.
Yeah.
I got 5. What the
got
heck?
1.
What the heck?
I got 51 gold.
Oh, I did better at saving mine than you did.
Yeah.
All right.
I probably bought a new loot. Okay. Here we go. 46. You made a friend of an adventurer, Kate. Use the supplemental tables and work with your DM to add more detail to this friendly character and establish how your friendship began. Well, this could actually be an opportunity because one part of GM or Mythic GM Emulator is that you needed a table of NPCs to draw from. Okay. So this could be an opportunity for an adventurer that you and I met on our quests and stuff. That could be an NPC for us.
Yeah.
So should we resolve the NPC now or do that after we...
Let's do it if we need them. Because we have to do that as well for my lover.
That's true, and mine as well. So now we're on to like 3 NPCs.
Right. Well, we may need your lover. Are they
I need to know who they were.
Right.
I can't just like not know who
Right,
it was.
and it's like you're searching for them, so they're not dead.
Yeah. They're like a plot point.
Yeah, okay.
NPC create, so we'll have to do 3 NPCs.
Yeah.
And then I need one more, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, one more.
Okay.
Oh my God. Here we go. 100.
Oh.
Something truly strange happened to you. Roll on the weird stuff table.
Interesting.
Oh my God, weird stuff. Here we go. 12, a d12.
This is funny.
11. You were swallowed by a giant fish and spent a month in its gullet before I escaped. What?
That's incredible.
Spent a month in a fish gullet.
Ew, you were just eating like fish stomach stuff. No, hopefully you had rations with you.
For a month? I don't think I would have. I would have had to. Maybe the way I got out was I ate the fish from the inside out. Like I like.
Loki says you really looked everywhere for your lost lover, huh? Well, I didn't check this fish yet.
Yeah, that's what happened. I was like, I better go in.
Sometimes it's a really big fish. He could be in there.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we were laughing at some of the comments in the chat while we were getting back on.
Yes.
Where like Mantis Toboggan says the fish kept the extra 4 gold. And
that's a good explanation.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good explanation. And then we kind of talked about that maybe I had to bribe the fish to escape.
Yeah. You're like, will you please just throw up?
Yeah, just please here.
It's not that bad. One time. All right.
Or maybe I was like pushing the gold pieces out the gills and like fishermen saw these like gold pieces coming out of the fish and they were like,
ooh, and then they caught the fish. They cut it open and they're like, wait, what?
It was just me.
Oh, Jill, you have a great bard song about that, don't you?
Sure do.
About the experience?
There once was a month where I slept in a fish. I finally escaped. The end.
Oh, it was so good. Yay! Oh my goodness.
I'm a bird.
Yeah.
Put me on the spot and I can't do a thing.
Okay.
So that was the end of mine. So you roll your
I got
next life event.
83. You had a supernatural experience. Roll on the supernatural events table to find out what it was.
That's exciting.
Oh, this is another D100.
Yep. Here we go.
I'm nervous.
What happened to you?
8. Ugh, our low one's not good. You saw a demon and ran away before it could do anything to you. What?
Well, that's another NPC that exists now. So we know that there's a demon and it has seen you and you took off.
I saw it too.
And you saw it. So like, you know.
I didn't like it.
So we've got an NPC demon.
So my 2 things are that I'm married and I saw a demon.
I hope they're not connected.
Yeah, that'd be bad. I'm married, but I only... I ran away after like one night because he turned into a demon in the nighttime. Remember that book that we read together, Spinning Silver?
Oh, yes. Okay. So here's what we can do if you want. Okay. This could be the point where we introduce the GM Mythic Emulator to ask that if your 2 things are connected in the way that we are thinking that it's possible to be.
That my husband is a demon? I don't like it.
Right. So, okay, we'll see. Okay. So the way that this works is that, and we haven't quite started the actual full system yet, but we're going to introduce this mechanic because it's one that we'll be using a lot. And we have to, 1, form a yes or no question.
Okay, we got it.
And then, okay, so what is our yes or no question?
The yes or no question is my husband a demon?
Okay. Perfect.
Or like,
so
or is my husband the demon that I saw?
Right. Okay.
Because
very specific.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. So number 2 would be we have to determine the odds. So do we think that it is impossible, no way, very unlikely, 50-50, somewhat likely, very likely, near sure thing, a sure thing, or has to be. So those are the options, and we will have, that's the kind of the scale that we will be dealing with. Maybe, I don't know, is this the right way around?
I mean, I can read it, but it's very small. I think it's okay.
Okay. Okay, so that's basically what we're working with.
I'm very familiar with this kind of stuff. It reminds me of my psych undergrad, honestly.
Oh.
I would say very unlikely.
Okay, perfect. So we've got very unlikely. So since we're just starting the game, our chaos factor, something that will affect how many yeses we'll get, like how likely our yes will be, will change.
Okay.
So right now, starting the game, it's on a 5.
Okay.
So that means that, so you said very unlikely?
Yeah.
Okay.
So do we write 5 under chaos factor in our little...
Yes. If you want to update that.
I typed 5. Okay, and what am I doing?
Roll a D100, and we will see if your husband is in fact that very demon.
I got 76.
Okay, so that's a no.
Okay, good.
So how our chart works is that when we find the number, we've got 3 numbers listed here. And for very unlikely, under chaos rank 5, we've got a 5. So if it was a 5 or lower, it would have been an extreme yes. If we rolled from 25 to a 6, it would have been a yes. You rolled a 76, correct?
Yeah.
So that meant it was a normal no.
Okay.
But if we had rolled above an 86, that would have been an extreme no.
So if it was an extreme no, my husband is, not only is he not a demon, but he's an angel.
Quite possibly, yeah. No, seriously. So the way the game works is that you usually use the most logical explanation or the first thing that pops into your head.
Okay.
So, extreme no, yeah, maybe that meant that he is a solar or like or another type of like
Aasimar or something like that.
An Aasimar or something. So, yeah. Okay, we've gone over that mechanic, so that's good. We'll be using that a lot.
Okay.
So we want to come up with we each have 2 NPCs we want to come up with. You want to come up with your lover, and you want to kind of decide on what that demon was, maybe.
Yeah,
unless
we
you
might
want
not.
that to
Can
be
you
something we reveal
that?
later.
Well, that makes more sense maybe because I don't really know anything about the demon. I don't think like I saw it momentarily.
And you're
I was like, no, not today.
Not today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I walked away. Probably.
Perfect.
Very quickly. Yeah. Okay. So, do you want to start with one of your NPCs?
Okay.
So you have 2. Did you say 2?
Yeah, I have to do my lost lover, who I'm looking for, who I know a lot about, and that's kind of like my goal. And maybe you're helping me, and that's part of what we're doing.
Yeah.
And then also just an NPC that we met while adventuring.
Okay. A friend.
So, a friend. Yeah, just a buddy.
Yeah.
So let's roll on. I have a chart in front of me, and maybe it will help us figure out what kind of race it is. It's on page 73 of Xanathar's.
Okay.
And I think it's for racial feats, but like, oh no, there's no numbers. What am I talking about? I thought that would, there's a race one. It is up there.
Okay. Do you want to
73.
Roll a D100?
Yeah.
So this is for your lover?
Yeah, 57. An elf.
Ooh.
Okay, sure. So we'll do elf, and then for like gender identity or whatever, maybe we'll do like, I'll roll a D20, and it'll be like 1 to 8 is male, 9 to, I don't know, 16 is female, and then like 17 to 20 is non-binary.
Sure.
4. So that's a male.
Is Arnell an elf? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. And then we'll do...
I don't want it to be Arnell, though,
I think that's enough. No.
You've lost him.
Yeah, I don't want it won't be Arnell. Let's go to the elf names.
Is that in Xanathar's too?
Yeah, so on page 177, there's a bunch of names here, and I'm just going to roll real quick.
We got a 27. This book memorized, Jill?
I've been using it a lot. So his name is Drally.
That's nice.
Drally the elf.
Like
Drally Fogarty.
I like it.
He took my name.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Got him. And we'll figure out more about him if he shows up, because I also have this little doohickey that we can use to figure out some NPC stuff. So do you want to do one now?
Sure. Okay, let's do my partner. Spouse. What page was it that racist table was on? Is that 69, 70?
It was 73, I think.
Okay, you're right. Okay. D100. 19. Human.
Oh.
I love humans.
Yep.
Okay. And then, what was the 70?
So humans. So in the back, there's like a ton of different human name tables. So we've got like Arabic, Celtic, Chinese, Egyptian, English, French, German. Like there's a lot. Greek, Indian.
How many
Japanese,
are there? Let's do the gender thing first, because that
right. Yes.
We'll narrow it down. I got 13. Is that female?
Female. Yeah.
Got me a wife. 1, 2, 3, 4.
There's a lot.
5. Okay, well, 5.
Roll a d12.
Okay.
That should cover it.
Oh, I got 1.
Okay.
Arabic. And then I roll a D100.
Yep.
72. Sadia.
Oh, it's a pretty
so
name.
Pretty.
And then.
Okay.
So we got those two people, like their basics. So another little tool that I have here is the Universal NPC Emulator. So this is another little tool that you can use to create things like
just any NPC that you need.
Yeah. So like you roll a you roll an NPC modifier. So that's a D100. And then you get an NPC noun, and then you get an NPC power level.
Okay.
If you want to do the power level, you don't have to do the power level. So yeah, do you want to roll your first, roll a D100 and I will give you an NPC modifier.
D100?
Yep.
78.
Pushy. So she's a little bit pushy. So roll another D100 and I will give you a noun, and this will kind of be her, what she is.
Okay. 24.
24. A caretaker. So we extrapolate from that a little bit. So like maybe when she's at her job, she's a bit pushy, but that doesn't necessarily mean she's pushy all the time, but she is a pushy caretaker.
Okay.
However you want to interpret that.
Okay.
If you want, we can also roll on her motivations.
Sure, yeah.
So roll another D100.
Okay. 70.
70. Develop. So roll another one.
36.
36. Allies. Okay, so her motivation is to develop allies. So maybe she's starting. Well, you can come up with it, but what I was gonna say is like maybe she's starting a small business of like caretakers or something, and she's like she's trying to network or something.
Well, I think she's like unsatisfied with the way things are going in her existing, right? So she's like she's doing that like Jerry Maguire thing, like she's quitting and starting.
Not familiar with Jerry Maguire.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, she's like, I'm out of here.
Okay.
Who's coming with me? We're gonna build our own. We're gonna build it up from the bottom.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Make it right.
Yeah. Okay, so that's her.
And is this like caretaker of what? Like children, elderly people, a like other thing? Everything needs to be taken care of. Yeah.
I wonder if I have a random thing for that. Well, does anything stand out for you? Like what you would like her to be a caretaker of?
Well, I said 2 things. I don't know.
But like, is that what you want to settle on? Like just vulnerable people, or?
Vulnerable people.
Which could mean, children, the elderly, or anyone who needs
I think it makes sense to be one or the other. Like, it could be... Okay, so it's either like an old folks home or like an orphanage.
Oh, okay. Do you want to flip for it?
Sure.
Odds, it's orphanage. Evens, it's the old folks home?
Sure. Okay, orphanage.
Okay, so she works at an orphanage. And she's looking to, like you said, kind of get out of that situation.
Overhaul the system.
Overhaul it. Perfect. Make it a better place for them. And it's good that she's pushy. So pushy is like a positive thing in this case because she needs to be to get somewhere with it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's quickly make our NPC for our adventurer friend.
Okay.
Okay. D100. I got a 31. So they are a human. They are a human non-binary person. And they are friendly to us, so because they're our buddy. So let's see. So, okay, human. We have a lot. So I'll do a D12 to see which name list we're going with, and I got 10. Human names. 1. Oh, maybe I should have rolled 2. I'll just do the 10th one in, and I'll count like the female names as 1 and then the male names as 1, and we'll just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's an English male name. Kind of boring, but because it's English, but here we go. 78. Richard. Our buddy Richard. Okay.
Good old Richard.
Richard. Be human. Got it. They are a good friend to us, and we met them while we were adventuring.
Cool.
Okay, so is that all of our NPCs and stuff figured out?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
I mean, we said we're not going to do the demon right now because we just don't know much about it.
So so what we're working with, everybody, is a little sheet that you find with the Mythic GM Emulator, and I'll show a little example of what it looks like here. Because I don't think we're allowed to share like an actual copy because it's like copyrighted and stuff. But it's basically like you write what scene you're doing, and on the side it's got a spot for NPC characters and your threads. So we're going to be writing in, we're listing all these characters here. I think like Kate's been doing the majority of.
I only wrote the chaos factor.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't. Character NPC list. Okay.
Yeah, so we need to include all of those characters. So your
What's
lover.
her name again?
Or your spouse.
Sadia.
Yeah, Sadia.
Oh frig! I'm in the wrong spot. Sadia.
And then we've got
Kate's wife.
Yeah, and then we've got Driali. And
how do you spell that?
Dreali.
And that's Jill's lost lover.
And then we've got Richard. Our friend from
Adventurer friend. Okay.
Okay, I think all we need to do is finish Richard off a little bit by finding out what their like motivations and stuff were, so that we know a little bit more about them.
Okay.
Do you want to roll again? And I'll just read.
Oh, sure. Yep. Is it D100?
4 D100s.
Okay. First, I got 74. I get a lot of 70s.
74. Curious.
Where are we going to write about Richard? I'll write him in my...
I'll jot them down here.
Right.
So Richard...
Curious.
Is curious.
And another D100?
Yes, please.
75.
They are a curious soldier.
Ooh, that makes sense.
So that would explain why they were like
adventuring,
traveling and stuff. Yeah. So we need actually roll this optional one, which is their power level.
54.
54. They are of a similar power level of us.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah. So roll 2 more D100s.
So 28.
28. They are okay. So their motivation verb is aid.
Aid. And 80.
Aid. Patience. Aid patience. Maybe they're trying to help keep people at bay for some reason, kind of helping them to be patient. Let's see, aid patience. So maybe they're trying to
do these two things need to be connected to each other?
They're supposed to be, yeah. Like they're supposed to
but they
inform each other somehow.
Okay. So
and we just take the most logical or the first thing that pops into our head.
Richard is trying to help people. But they're doing it in a way that requires patience. Like, what could that be?
Oh, well, I was thinking maybe there's some kind of disruption, maybe within the army, because if they are a soldier, and maybe there's some kind of uprising or something that's going. Maybe, and that kind of connects a little bit to Sadia too, in that maybe the whole city is kind of having a bit of an upheaval situation, and maybe Richard is on the front lines trying to keep people from rioting or keeping people from,
I think
or...
that he is, he was a soldier, but he's not a one, or they, sorry, are not a one-dimensional person.
Right.
Richard is also a meditation guide.
Ooh, they're helping teach people how to
meditate,
find patience within themselves,
and inner peace. Yeah,
I like that. So maybe like a leader,
meditation guide,
meditation.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've fleshed out our 3 NPCs a little bit. So from all of this, does this give you any ideas of where we might be? Are we in a city, a town, a village? Are we out in the wilderness? Where is our adventure going to start? And if we need to roll on a random quest table, we can do that to get us started. What do you think?
I don't have any specific ideas. Do you?
Okay. Nope. So roll me a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. D10, please.
D10. 1.
We are in a dungeon, or going to one.
Sweet.
So now let's roll a... Oh, wow. I think it's a D100 again. Yeah, roll a D100.
Okay. Boink. 10.
10. The tower of a long-dead robber baron is moldering and decaying. If any brave souls would to repair it, it would be formidable. It would be a formidable stronghold.
Ooh.
Of course, a dungeon is beneath it. So maybe we've been tasked to scope this place out and try and
clear out this dungeon so that it can be
used.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe this is what Sadia wants to use
as
for
her orphanage.
Yeah, like maybe we're trying to trying to make a place for her to help people, help children.
Sure.
I like that. I think that's pretty cool.
We can get Richard in there too sometimes to teach the kids meditation and stuff.
Yeah, they can be like another tutor of some kind.
Is this something that we write in scene 1?
Right. So our scene 1 is that Jill and Kate are heading towards the Robber Baron Tower. So that says to me that there might be traps in there as well. We'll have to figure that out when we get there.
Robber Baron Tower.
To
investigate the dungeon underneath?
Yeah, investigate. Yeah, we're going in to check it out, and if we can do anything, we will do it.
Okay, so should I just say investigate, or should I say investigate the dungeon specifically?
I think, investigate, and I mean, we can say we know there's a dungeon below it because it was in the quest statement. Oh, and by the way, this was this is from a random quest book by Matt Davids, I think. Yeah. And I bought a bunch of his random quests on DM's Guild.
Yeah, it's good to point out those separate things because that's the thing that's cool about what we're doing is like, Jill, you found the Mythic GM Emulator, but we are supplementing that with a lot of other things as well, right?
Yeah, so we're using a lot of different books.
Yeah, cool.
And we'll include links to that on our Discord if you want to follow us on there.
Yeah.
And it'll be in the video description when we put this on YouTube as well.
For sure. All right, so scene 1, Jill and Kate are heading towards the Robber Baron Tower to investigate, period?
Yes.
Okay.
So, now, here's another thing that happens with the Mythic Emulator, Mythic GM Emulator. When you start a scene, you roll a d10, and I don't know if you're supposed to do this on the first one or not, actually. I don't remember, but we'll do it anyway because it's our game right now.
Sure.
We're running. So you roll a d10 to see if the scene you're expecting, which is us just heading over to investigate, is either altered or interrupted.
Okay.
So roll a d10.
Okay. D10. I got a 1. I feel like I'm getting a lot of 1s.
Okay, no, this is good. This is teaching us something because that means that it is changed.
Okay.
So our chaos factor right now is 5 because we're just starting the game.
Yeah.
So if you roll your chaos factor or lower, then something happens and the scene is altered or interrupted.
Okay.
So
on that D10 that I rolled.
On that D10 roll. And the other time that could happen is when we're asking the fate chart a question, if we roll doubles and the doubles are lower than our chaos factor.
Okay.
Then something happens as well.
Okay.
So it is... I was going to write down this piece of information that I keep misplacing. I didn't write it down, so I gotta find it. Okay, so it's odd, an odd number, so that means it's altered, which is a lot better than not better, they're both really fun, but an interrupt scene means something completely different happens, whereas altered just means that
something unexpected happens. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So for an altered scene, if the scene setup is altered, use logic to figure out how. The scene that actually begins is not the one you initially came up with in the scene setup, but the next most logical scene idea. So maybe we were heading to investigate the dungeon, but the ground collapsed and we fell into the dungeon.
Okay.
So it's not exactly what we expected, but now we don't really have a choice and we are in there.
Okay. Sure.
So it's, it's still kind of the same scene, but something has been altered.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Cool. So
if
like,
you want, you can write on there that...
The ground, like, we're walking up towards the tower. We were going to go into the entrance that's inside the tower. But instead, like, how far away from the tower?
I'd say we were pretty close. I'd say we were like, we're walking up and we're laughing and we're like, oh, there it is. And then it's just like, ooh. And then we, like, fall in. And then we also need to figure out if we get hurt.
Okay. So what should I write? So Jill and Kate are heading towards the Robber Baron Tower to investigate. When the ground... Like, am I just narrating what happens?
What I usually do is I don't really go back to that document until the end of the scene.
Oh, okay.
So we kind of figure out the scene and then... Because, I mean, technically, since we're changing location, this could be the end of our travel scene. And then we start the next scene, which would be us setting up what's in the dungeon and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, we can say this scene is over.
Oh, okay.
So what happened was that, it was a quick scene. It got altered, and then it ended real quick.
Okay.
So in our threads, actually, we also have to keep track of our threads, which is the different kind of goals that we have. So we have one goal that is find Jill's lost lover. We have another goal, which is investigate the tower. And maybe a further thread down the line might be like determine if it is safe for Sadia to use.
Okay.
And these threads will either close or we'll find more threads as we go, or some might end up being not possible to complete and stuff like that. But that's something we keep track of.
Okay.
Also, since it's the end of a scene, we need to figure out if we need to change our chaos factor.
Okay.
So did you feel like we were in control for this scene or something happened that we were completely out of our control?
Out of our control.
So that means it goes up to 6.
Okay.
So now whenever we ask a question of the fate chart, the chance of us getting a yes answer goes up. Mm-hmm. So scene 2. So let's figure out what this dungeon looks like.
Sure.
Because we're in it already.
We're in some random spot in the middle of this dungeon.
So I also bought a GM's Miscellany dungeon dressing. And what this is a bunch, like a ton of random tables talking about different things that you would find in a dungeon. So, what do we have? So we can roll for the dungeon's purpose.
Okay.
And that might give us a lot of information from our logic to figure out what it is. Do you want to roll a D 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8?
2.
This was a lair or a home.
Okay.
Some villains feel safer underground and live there with their minions. Such a location will have everything the villains need for a long-term living. A villain's personal quarters will be the most defensible location. Okay, so this dungeon's a little bit homey, which is interesting. And that kind of makes sense because it's a bandit's tower, right?
Yes. Well, yeah, sure, yeah. And
so it kind of makes sense that this would be kind of like their hideout or like their...
So you think the tower is named after the people who are living below it?
That's the most logical conclusion. I mean, do you have another idea?
Well, I mean, we can say that that's the case, but I don't know that it's necessary. Like, what? So why aren't they living in the tower?
Maybe it's more defensible underneath.
Maybe.
And like the tower's filled with traps
to stop people from getting in.
Yeah.
But they still like built the tower and named it after themselves.
Well, it says the tower of a long dead robber baron.
Yeah.
Like it's saying what it was a like I didn't name the tower that it was like the
I have it baron's tower. I have it called like title case the robber baron tower.
Well, that might be what the town calls it. I'm sure the robber baron didn't call it that when the robber baron used it.
Right. Okay. So, what are we trying to do again?
Okay.
Yeah, we've
just fallen through the floor.
Yeah.
We've landed in
and it's a lair. It's a lair.
And it's like a lair. Yeah. It's more like a lair. And we can either use logic to decide what's in this lair, or roll a bunch of stuff to see what we find in here. What would you rather do?
Well, I think if we know that it's a lair, then we can probably do the logic thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this might be a good time for a fate chart question.
Okay.
Like, did we fall into, like maybe we can say like, did we fall into a safe room?
Yeah.
What do you think? Like,
we need to know that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so I'll roll.
By safe, we just mean like there's nobody in it and no traps.
Oh, okay, yes, okay. So if we get to know that it's not safe, or maybe we should ask if it's dangerous. Is it a dangerous room?
Okay.
Because
what's the difference
when you phrase it? When you phrase it in a way that the yes is more exciting, it's kind of
that's better.
I feel it kind of feels better to me. Okay. Like it doesn't super matter, but
this is interesting. This is interesting though, because if you don't phrase the question that, like, you can choose which way to phrase the question to make it more likely that one thing will happen. Okay.
And you can also choose how likely you think the answer is going to be a yes. So do we think this room is dangerous?
I think it's more likely than not that it would be. Do you agree?
Okay.
Because if this is a lair, my imagination here is that there's like some boss person, and all of their minions are living here.
Right.
So I don't know that we like dropped in on their personal quarters. That's probably not true because it's well defensible. So it's not just gonna the roof isn't just gonna crumble in, but it's not super likely that we land somewhere and like nobody hurt us, nobody's around, and there's no traps.
Exactly. And like they've probably let the tower get all like moldy and weird looking because they're trying to make it seem like they're not there anymore.
Yeah.
But they super are. So we're saying very likely.
I would say so.
We could also say near shore thing that it's dangerous or higher, but very likely.
I think very likely works.
So we'll go to 6.
Because on the other hand, like, if it's just a random hallway, maybe there's nobody walking around there right now, right? So it's not like, it's not for sure. It's not
definite.
Yeah.
So if I get a 90 or lower, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
I got a 37.
Okay.
But that's a normal yes. So
Okay.
It's not like the big boss is here, but something is in here that's dangerous.
Yeah.
And as we just discussed, like we're thinking this has a lot of minions in it. So maybe we've just fallen in on a place where minions are.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe they're having lunch. Maybe they're
Yeah.
Or are they sharpening spears?
Oh gosh.
they're like
it's like their training room and we just fell into the middle of the traiing pit. Yeah.
Exactly.
And they're all like standing around us with spears. No.
I mean we can.
No. I think it's more likely. Okay, so what kinds of rooms there would be? There'd be like a kitchen, there'd be like a dining area, there would be bedrooms and quarters, there would be like lavatories. There would be what?
Yeah. Storeroom.
Yes, like pantry and loot,
armory.
Armory.
We should have been writing these down.
There's also like just like lounge, like social areas.
Yeah, and hallways, like you said.
Hallways, lots of hallways. Stairwells. Okay. There's stairwells as well.
So maybe we should quickly Google a map of a dungeon, and then we roll a d20 and like count out which room we fell in.
Okay. Do you
This is how...
Yeah. What about, do you have you don't have one of your books around with maps? Oh. Why don't we just
this is a big book of battle maps. And let me see. None of these are super like these are more for like battle instead of exploration. Actually, I have behind me the Yawning Portal book. Okay. And that has a bunch of different adventures and a bunch of different maps in it. So I'll just grab it real quick.
Okay.
And I'll flip to one.
Okay.
Okay.
Because that way we can show it
find
too.
First. Holy crow. I said I was going to use the very first one that I opened to.
But then you changed your mind?
Well, I didn't change my mind. I'll show you what it looks like.
Okay.
This is called Master's Domain. Okay, if you're playing the adventure Dead and Thay, close your eyes. Because I'm going to show a map.
Okay. Is it... I don't know. It's pretty small.
Yeah.
So is it just like a dangerous looking map?
Yeah. So it's got a lot of temples in it. And there's something called a Hall of Necromancy. There's dark gardens. There's an entry point. There's like a sleeping area. There's a Master's Domain. Hall of Obedience. I'm assuming that's like... But we can make it whatever we want. Like if we want to use this as the layout and then just like, like, oh, that looks like a kitchen or that looks like a living room or something.
Yeah. But how are we going to... Weren't we using this to decide the type of room that we land in?
Yeah. So what we would do now is roll a d20 and I'll just count down. Or roll a d10 because there's not that many rooms.
Okay. 10.
10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The one that it landed on, the way I counted, is like a sleeping quarters type room.
Okay.
With like campfires and like, so maybe we landed in their bedroom.
Yep.
It is daytime, but they might sleep a bit during the day because they might do bandit-y stuff during the night.
Yeah, or if they are if they are creatures that, like a lot of, I think it mentioned this, a lot of creatures that live in dungeons are the type that have like dark vision or whatever, and so they would sleep during the day down in the dungeon because at night that's when they're going to want to be out and about. So
oh my god. Okay, so here's what's happening.
They're sleeping, but we crashed in.
We crash in. We also let sunlight in.
Yeah.
And I'd say like if the floor gave out, I'd say it was like a pretty like decent sized chunk of floor. Like I don't think we just fell in like
probably not,
like
but
a, like 10 foot.
10 foot makes sense to me.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a big beam of light. So we also need to figure out how much damage we took.
Okay.
I would say that it would be at least a 20-foot drop. What do you think?
I don't know. Do you think they would have 20 feet ceilings in?
Well, I mean, there's definitely like a layer of ground that was at least 5 to 10 feet deep that we fell through, and then the ceiling would be another...
would it have been that deep? Because how would we have fallen through like 10 foot of solid ground?
It's up. Work with me here, Kate. Work with me here.
I don't think it was 10. I don't think it was. I don't think it was 5 feet of ground. I think we fell like 15 feet. Makes sense.
Okay, perfect. So now we roll. What is the rule for falling? It's a d6 for every...
I forget.
5 feet or every 10 feet?
I have to look it up.
God, we might die right now. We might just fall through the ground and then die surrounded by a nocturnal creature.
Falling, page 183.
Oh God. Maybe it's only every 10 feet.
It's 1d6 damage for every 10 feet it fell. Okay. So is that 2?
1d6 each.
Okay, so it doesn't round down. 1d6?
It rounds down, yeah. Yeah. I took 3 falling damage.
5.
Woof.
So...
God, we might die here.
I still have 9 hit points.
I have 7.
You know what? I don't think I chose my spells. Oh, I don't have any first level spells. So... Wow, I don't even have a cantrip?
You didn't count your cantrips out yet?
But do I get one?
Yep. You should have 2... What type of druid are you... Or...
At level 1 you don't pick.
So I think you have 2 cantrips.
But D&D Beyond did not ask me what my cantrips were.
Yeah, that's a thing that happens. If you click your spells on D&D Beyond and hit manage spells, it should tell you like 0 out of 2 cantrips and then 0 out of whatever spells. Known
spells, cantrips.
So you should click add spells.
I don't see add spells, but I see some cantrips here that I can click learn.
Okay, so you're in the add spells category then.
Okay. Well,
because up at the top it should say add spells and then cantrips 0 out of 2 or something, and then known spells 0 out of...
I'm in known spells right now. It's not going to be the same, right, for Bard versus...
No, this is a D&D functionality thing I'm talking about.
Okay.
Anyway. It should be above known spells. Like if you close.
So I see spell slots, druid, known spells, and then and then prepared spells underneath that.
Oh, it should be under prepared spells then.
Well, I have no prepared spells.
Oh my goodness!
It's under known spells. Is where it is. Okay, so
that does make sense actually.
The cantrips. Well, I think I want Thorn Whip. Is that not a cantrip?
That's a good one. Yeah, it is. It is. You're right.
Well, I don't have access to it on D&D Beyond.
Oh. Well, here. Tell you what. We can find it somewhere else, and you can add it as like an whatchamacallit.
What if Thorn... Okay, looking for something not unlock options in the marketplace.
Yeah, you gotta buy it.
How much is Thorn Whip?
It's probably under... Is it in Xanathar's or is it...
No, it's a like player's handbook.
Is it a normal one?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Those monsters.
Oh, also, I have to... Player's handbook. See, this is why I normally just like to make a...
Yeah, because you don't have all the goodies.
Yeah.
Totally.
So, feats, subraces, spells.
Okay, I'm gonna write in what our scene is.
Oh my gosh. Thorn Whip is not a spell that I could purchase? So where is it? It is a cantrip, is it not?
Yeah, it's definitely a cantrip. That's really weird.
It is really weird. Sorry for this scintillating content, everybody. Yeah, it's in the player's handbook.
Okay, well, I will paste it to you on, let's see, I'll just paste it in the document we're working on.
I have the player's handbook here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind then.
I was just trying to get it on my character sheet.
Because that would make sense for it to be there.
That's where my character's information is.
Yeah, it's definitely just like you need to buy the player's handbook to have access to all the stuff.
How do they choose like
which things are? So there's a thing where there's a lot of information that is like freely available. Is it called like the SRC or SCR? I can't remember the acronym, but it's basically like the stuff that's for any role-playing game that wants to use like 5e rules.
Yeah.
And I guess we just found out that Thorn Whip is not in that.
It's because it's awesome.
Yeah, it's too cool for the general public. And I'm assuming that's how they choose what's in public and what's not.
Yeah. What should my other cantrip be, though?
So one's Thorn Whip.
Guidance?
My favorite's Druid Craft. Guidance is way more useful.
I like guidance. Let's learn it.
It's a good choice.
Okay.
Okay, so scene 2. Our scene setup is that we have fallen into what is it called where you're sleeping? You're like sleeping quarters. Like living?
I think sleeping quarters works.
Sleeping quarters.
Or bunk.
Ooh, bunk. Fallen into bunk area.
Now, this is just like a small, like they have small rooms, right? So how many like people are sleeping in this room?
Want to roll a d4 to see how many are in the room right now?
Sure. 1.
Okay. You know what? That's not that bad.
Okay.
But what are they? We got to figure out what they actually are.
Right. Yes.
And we could either choose a random card, but it could be up to CR5, depending on what card I pick.
Mm-hmm.
But then it could be, it might not work because they, like, why would they be underground in some cases and stuff?
I think that whatever the creature is, like, we can try and find it randomly, but we'll have some restrictions. Like, it has to have dark vision. Right?
Okay. Yes. So, maybe I'll type underground monster D&D table. And, like, maybe there's a random table we can, like...
Sure. I thought you already had one to figure out. I thought you had cards. Did you have cards? Wait,
I do have cards, but, like, I have, like... it's like this.
Okay.
Full of monsters. Do you want me to just try?
Yeah, why not? And then if we don't like I said, like let's come up with some things that we will like restrictions. Dark vision, and what would be like it's just a minion, right? It wasn't like the boss's lair or anything like that. So it should be, what should the CR maximum be? Like 1?
Right. So it should be like a humanoid.
Yeah.
And
has dark vision.
CR 1.
Yes. Yeah.
I've got a deep gnome.
Sure. That works.
Yeah, that works perfect.
Okay.
And the CR is 1/2.
Good.
Yep. And we've got it.
Okay.
Okay. So, is this character that we've just stumbled upon So we've said it's dangerous in this room. So that says to me that this character is obviously hostile, that we've fallen.
He's not going to be happy about it.
Right. Like, what would you do if two random people just like plummeted?
I'd be terrified.
Yeah. So, do they speak? Okay, so this character is neutral good.
Okay,
that's good.
We can talk.
They speak Gnomish, Terran, and Undercommon. Do you speak any of those?
I speak
Halfling.
Common, Druidic, Dwarvish, Elvish, and Sylvan. I speak a lot of languages, but none of those. Oh no.
Okay, so we can't communicate properly.
Right. But we can still try to communicate with our bodies, right?
Okay. The first thing that I'm going to communicate is, oh.
Yeah, we'll be like, oh my god. Put hands up.
Oh, please. I've just fallen from a great height.
Yeah.
And I feel awful.
I don't have any healing spells yet. Neither do you. Do you?
Yeah, I do. I have healing word.
Oh, that's good.
So, yeah. So I guess I'm gonna... So, and then he would have obviously, like, sit up. Or he or she or they. Let's find out. Oh, he. Yeah.
Okay.
I got a 7. So he would definitely be, like...
Shocked.
Wakes up, probably, like, oh, scared. Like, someone just fell through his,
ceiling.
Oh, does he have light sensitivity? No. Okay. So we haven't like blinded him or hurt him by the sun or anything like that. Yeah.
But we ruined his home.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't us though. We were just walking.
Yeah. He should have gotten its safety inspected.
Yeah.
That's kind of on him, really.
Yeah. Or like the landlord, whoever.
Yeah, true. It's probably not his fault. It's like the landlord wasn't doing proper upkeep to the ceiling.
I wish we could communicate any of these things to him.
Oh no, he has no idea why we're here. He has no idea. Oh my god, what happens?
Yeah, so I think you're on the same page as me, where we don't want to like murder this gnome in his bedroom after having accidentally fallen in there. So I think we want to try and convince him that we are not, a danger, and we should probably get some rope and like try and get out back through the hole that we came in.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So we could try and mime that. I don't know what kind of roll we would need to make.
If we pull out rope, will he immediately be like, whoa?
No! Well, that's better than pulling out like a weapon.
True, yeah. Okay. So I have mage hand. I could like maybe lift the rope up.
You can bring the rope up. Can you use like does your mage hand have opposable thumb? Like, can you tie a knot with it?
I think so. Yeah. It can only hold. Let me see.
You can bring the rope up and secure it to something.
And secure it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It lasts for a whole minute.
I don't even have wild shape yet. Level 1.
Yeah, you should have a couple spell slots at least.
What? Just can't
have a couple spell slots at least.
Oh, let me look at that.
It should be like your wisdom modifier plus your level or something like that.
Let me look it up.
Well,
you mean
you have 2 first level spell slots, but then you can prepare your wisdom modifier plus your level worth, I think.
Okay, 1 sec.
Minimum of 1 or something like that.
Oh yeah, I know 2 cantrips and I have 2 first level spell slots.
Yeah, the good stuff.
Okay, so let's prepare some spells then. Why don't you figure out how he responds to our...
I'm going to try and use like a charisma, either performance or persuasion. It doesn't really matter because they're the same for me for both. But I'm basically going to try and do like some body movement, like universal dance speak of trying to communicate that, like first of all, like, no, we don't mean any harm, like sorry, like maybe like, make myself look a bit small to try and communicate like I'm sorry, I'm not trying to hurt you, and we'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna roll.
Oh, and I get to cast guidance.
Oh, wicked. Okay, I'll get my D4 out. Okay, here we go.
Should I take Ice Knife? Remember how awesome that was?
Oh, guys, if you haven't watched our first session for our Esther C campaign for D&D,
yeah, you gotta watch it. It's so good.
Yeah,
it's so good. Okay,
I got a nat 20 plus 2, so
yay!
I think
okay,
and that's a plus, and then a 6 on top of that, so it's like 28 altogether.
Totally gets it. Oh,
yeah.
Hi, Root. Root is here. I don't know how long that hi has been there for, but I've been choosing my spells because D&D Beyond doesn't make you choose your spells. It's like, you're done, and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, anyway, it let you believe that.
Got it. And I also can't have Thorn Whip. I'm going to get Thorn Whip, but I think it means I have to spend money. It's fine.
Actually, I could probably anyway, we'll talk about this later.
Okay.
For right now.
Now, he totally understands.
He understands
He's
us.
going back to sleep.
I feel like maybe he would, like, go get someone maybe that either would know our language, or, like a translator type of person, or but
we don't want that.
Right. So
if he gets up to try and go, we'd be like, no, we're gonna head out. It's gonna be fine.
Okay, so you try and convince him not to leave. I'm gonna use Mage Hand in the meanwhile. So if you want to roll to see, and we'll use the fate chart to see if it's, or no, that doesn't make sense. Okay, anyway, how would we decide how difficult?
So it's persuasion. Yeah. Well, how do you decide the DC on?
When I'm doing it as a DM, my go-to number is 15.
That's high. Well, it depends. Okay, so there's nothing in Mythic GM. There's nothing in Mythic GM about how to determine a DC.
No, because that falls on D&D rules. So the Mythic GM chart, or the Mythic GM Emulator, is just supposed to be to help you resolve, like, bigger questions, and then all of the gameplay aspects are done in your system.
Right.
So for that one, but I did get a nat 20 at convincing him.
Yeah, so he's already like
I think pretty okay. So I think the check for you to keep him from leaving the room without scaring him or anything would be pretty low.
Well, I think like 10 makes sense.
Yeah.
And I can cast guidance on myself, right?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
So I can roll persuasion, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And then add a D4.
And my little maid hand has the rope. Going up with the rope.
I got 12. So that's good.
Oh, yeah, right over. Yeah.
Nice.
Perfect. So you're like, like, wait.
We're leaving. Like, we're out of here. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sending my mage hand up. Unfortunately, I don't think I'd be able to actually see what I'm doing from the ground.
Okay.
But we can remember whether or not there were trees. So I think this would be a good opportunity to ask the fate chart. Is there a tree
nearby,
or a rock?
And it just needs to be.
And
how long is your rope? Is it 50 feet?
Yeah.
So it just needs to be within like 40 feet. 30.
It has to be within 30 feet because my mage hand can only go 30.
Oh, okay. And it needs to like wrap a length of rope around the tree, and it needs to get from the ground down to us. So I'd say the tree needs to be within 30 feet. Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
So I think that it is likely. We were heading to this place in the woods, and this tower it's kind of like off the beaten path, so I'd say there's probably a lot of trees around.
Sure.
So like likely?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on chaos rank 6 and we're at likely. So I got a 65. So that means It's a yes. So there is a tree within range.
Okay.
So my little hand thing is like frantically trying to like feel its way around and tie this rope on.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're like, no, like don't go anywhere.
And he's all good. So I'm like petting his head. Yeah. It's okay. Shh. Go to sleep.
Maybe he likes it, and that's like, like
he just thinks this is a dream. This is like the best dream ever. These two adventurer ladies just fall into your bed.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna try to climb out.
Okay.
My climbing.
What is climb going to be like? Either strength or acrobatics? Athletics or acrobatics, I think.
Oh, can it be acrobatics?
I think you can usually.
That'd be a lot better for me.
Yeah, usually you can.
Let's do it.
Okay. Oh,
+4.
I'm gonna cast guidance on you.
Thank you.
All the time. And then you go first, and then I'll go, and
I'll help you.
Ooh, and I'll
help pull you up.
But can I help you as well as giving you guidance?
Did we decide on a?
No. It's not a hard DC though either.
I need you to decide on it.
It's gonna be. I think it would be 10 as well.
Okay. I rolled a 7.
Okay.
So I'm like.
Yeah, but did you roll your D4?
That's with the D4.
Jill, what about me helping you? Can I roll a D?
So now I think you need to have a try, and then you can help pull me up.
Oh, okay, but I can't.
Because I could tie it around myself.
Okay. So I'll try. So I'm going to roll my acrobatics. I'm going to add a D4 for my guidance.
Yeah.
The D4 is only going to be a 1. Ooh. I got a 22 total.
Hey. Okay, so you're just like...
So you're like... and you fall down, and I'm like... Jump up there.
You have like no trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna be like, okay, and then I'm gonna just tie it around my waist and try and use the end of the rope to just kind of hook it around me like a harness.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be like dook. And I'm gonna twice and try and climb up a bit while you're trying to help me up. So let's both roll.
This for me has to be athletics. So wait,
strength,
so
for sure.
Yeah, so am I rolling an athletics check, and then if that's 10 or above, it gives you advantage or something? How does that work when you're aiding someone?
Well, you know what? I think if either of us get above 10, either that means I've climbed up or you've yanked me up.
Okay, are we both going to add guidance?
Only you can add guidance because you can't reach me. And I think you can really concentrate on one at once anyway.
Concentrate. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I will add 3. Okay, I got 10.
I got a 9.
So 10 meets it, beats it, right?
Yeah.
So,
you get
but
it.
it's not...
So
it's not pretty.
Easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
It's like...
And like I feel like it hurts my hands a bit, so I let go and I'm just like dangling.
Yeah, and I'm like
that's slow, like that slow spin. And you're like you've got your like heels dug in and you're like pulling me and I'm just like slowly rising up.
100% exertion and I'm like just exhausted and you're like
and like the little deep gnome is looking like just like embarrassed for me.
He can't make eye contact. He's like,
it's
God, so awkward.
This is embarrassing for you. Oh my God. Okay, so we do eventually get out of this hole.
Yeah.
I think at this point he would probably tell people that this has happened.
Yeah, so we're not we can't stay and go continue.
Yeah, what do we do? Okay, so we've just we're hurt. Like we're fairly injured.
And so maybe we come back here tomorrow, but it's not today. You know? We're not doing this today anymore.
Well, okay. Here's the thing. We did learn that
it's occupied.
That it's occupied.
Yes, and very in not good repair.
like it not only is the tower a mess as we can see it and look at it, but like even the ground around it is bad.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing's bad. Like it's so maybe this actually this might even close the thread. Like we might go back to Sadia and be like, listen,
this needs too much work, okay? We don't need a fixer-upper.
We don't need a fixer-upper. Like our investments would just plummet if we tried to do that here. Like it's just not worth what we'd have to put into it. Like the ground needs to be...
Also, like, we're good characters, right? Did you choose good as an alignment?
Me, yeah.
So did I. I am chaotic good, but good. So like, I'm not interested in this gnome that we ran into. He was not like an evil cultist or whatever.
Like a good guy, and like he let us get away without like getting us in trouble. Like he was really good to us.
Yeah, and his hair was really soft.
Oh. Maybe we should like lower a basket down,
like
like
an
like
apology,
apology card.
Oh, too bad I didn't take good berries, or else we could have just done it right then.
Oh yeah, we could have just like gave him some good berries.
Anyway,
what else do I have?
But yeah, like this is their home, and I don't see why. Like we just need to find a new place for the orphanage, a different place.
Okay. So, I think that closes our scene.
Mm-hmm.
So what this means is that we need to add so we got to cross off the thread of investigate the tower. We have decided it's not safe. It's occupied.
Do we just
We've investigated enough. So just cross it out. We'll figure out a better way to deal with this.
Do you know how to do cross out in...
Ooh. It's like... Oh, I can't remember. Let me see.
Why don't I just make it red?
Yeah, do that, and we'll figure that out later too.
Ah, that's not what I meant to do.
Oh no.
Highlight color. There we go.
Okay, perfect.
And so also, the last one we're gonna make that red as well. Determine if the tower is safe for Sadia to use.
So a new thread might be to find a different location for Sadia. Sadia's orphanage.
Yeah.
Another thing we need to do is add our deep gnome to our character NPC list.
Okay. Oh my god.
What was that?
It was the cat. But it scared me. I don't know. I think he sneezed or moved.
That was a cat?
I don't know what happened. I can't really hear because I've got my headphones in, but I just looked over and
is he fine?
He's just like licking himself and yawning. So I'm not...
That was so loud.
It scared me. Okay, find a different location for Sadia's orphanage. Oh, and then we want to add our deep gnome
to our character NPC list.
Okay.
And this NPC list does come up when we end up in like interrupt scenes or random scenes or anything like that.
Okay, cool.
So this will come more into play later. And like, if I've done any rules wrong, please forgive me. I'm still learning, and I'm going to reread them again after this to make sure I did everything as close to correct as I could. So maybe we'll do a final scene to like finish it off. So that scene, would you say that we were fairly in control, or would you say it was kind of a bit out of our control?
So, and this is from like the moment that we land in the room, right? Because yeah. So I would say fairly in control.
Yeah.
Like you failed your climb, but other than that, we had everything.
Like everything else was okay. So maybe it just stays at 6 then. Since there was like a little bit of unexpected, but mostly we were okay.
Yeah.
If we felt like we had it on lockdown and it went really good for us, we would lower it to 5.
Lower your chaos thing? Cool.
Yeah. So maybe we'll just kind of leave it at 6.
Sure.
But
we won't increase. No, I don't think it should increase for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe as a closing out scene for this sort of day.
Yes.
So do we want to do a travel scene to getting home as our final thing, like getting back?
Yeah,
and that'll kind of...
Before we do that, I guess before we end this scene, should we heal ourselves?
Ooh, yeah, I think that's a good idea. So I could use
I have cure wounds. I took cure wounds, but can't we do a short rest and spend a hit die?
Let's do that.
So
maybe we sit for an hour and just kind of like, well, maybe we'll get a bit farther from the hole first.
Yeah, we'll walk away.
And maybe we need to do a survival check to make sure we find a safe place.
Sure. I should do that because I get +5 to survival.
Okay. Guide yourself.
Oh, I cast guidance as well. So let's do... Oh, I'm using my fancy potion dice. Survival roll plus a d4. Oh.
Mm-hmm. What was it? Oh my god.
I rolled a 1 on the d20.
So we might think it's safe.
Now, we got an 8.
But I'm helping. I am helping you though.
So what is...
I am like helping you like... So when I'm using the help action... Do I have to be proficient in survival to help you do a survival check?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm not sure if that's a rule or if I just imagined that.
So, want me to look up help?
Okay.
So many rules in this game.
There's so many rules. Maybe someday we will attempt this with a different rule set.
Help is not in the index, which is... frustrating. Let me Google it. D&D help action.
So someday maybe we can use this kind of system to figure out a new role-playing game that we want to play.
Yes.
Like as a figuring out the rules kind of situation.
When you take the help action, the creature you aid gains advantage on the next ability check it makes to perform the task you...
Okay, so can I just help you then?
Well, hold on. Where is... Oh man, now I'm having to scroll through a big thing. This is not the right website. What about this?
Oh dear. I'm going to find us a little...
You can lend your aid to another creature in the completion of a task. When you take the help action, the creature you aid gains advantage on the next ability check it makes to perform the task you are helping with, provided that it makes the check before the start of your next turn. Alternatively, you can aid a friendly creature in attacking a creature within 5 feet of you. You feint, distract the target, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it doesn't say anything about you needing to be proficient in it. So should I roll?
Yes, because I was definitely helping you do that, for sure.
Okay, that's better. 21.
Oh, yeah, okay, perfect. I also have like a handy dandy little map.
Oh, nice. That's where we are?
Can be like our little,
Cool.
Just sitting around a little fire. We make a little campfire.
Love it.
Because we want to eat some rations, warm rations.
Is there a way on this D&D Beyond character sheet to spend a hit die, or do I just roll? Like, where are my hit dice track? Like, there should be a spot to track my hit dice.
This part of D&D Beyond I'm not sure about. So up above your like current hit points, there's a short rest button.
Oh.
And then
is it there?
Yeah.
Reset maximum hit point changes during this rest.
Let's see. Total hit die 1d8 plus 2. Let's see if it rolls it for me. Oh, it didn't roll it for me. I gotta roll it myself.
Did you select the
red dot?
Yeah.
Or put the red dot in the box? Yeah. So I'll just roll it and then I'll add it manually. 1d8 plus 2. 7 plus 2. I am at full health. No.
Okay, so it's 1d8? Yeah, mine's going to be 1d8 plus 2 as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Clear. 1d8. So it's 8. So I'm at max.
Perfect.
Boom.
Feeling a lot better now.
Okay, but yeah, so it keeps track that you used it, but it just doesn't do the math for you. Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Yet. That might be something they implement later.
Yeah.
Okay, so we found a safe place. Should we... Oh, we should have checked to see if we got interrupted before we settled in.
Well, do you want to do that now? Like, we can always take back our...
let's do it now.
Okay.
Okay, I'll roll.
Okay.
So it's 6 or lower and something else happens. I got a 3.
Okay, so we're not healed then, so I should...
So we aren't healed yet. So yeah, let's...
So I'm at 9 hit points.
Okay, and I'm back at 7. Okay, so this is, I think, since it's odds, it's an altered scene. So we're expecting to find a nice spot, but something slightly different happens. And this can be positive, this could be negative, this could be just different and not a positive or a negative necessarily.
What if it's like a little cabin and somebody's there?
Oh, okay. That's cute.
Yeah.
Okay, and maybe what if it's like should we ask and see if it's someone we know inside?
Sure. We don't know very many people though, so I'd say it's very
unlikely.
Yeah.
Very unlikely.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Or even more than very unlikely. What are the other?
Maybe no way.
Yeah.
No way. Okay. So roll a D100.
Okay. 24.
It's a yes, it's someone we know.
Who is it?
Oh my god. So here's what we need to do.
Is it that
we need
demon?
To roll.
Demon.
Could be.
Demon is not on the character NPC list. So should I
add him?
Yeah.
Yep. Add him. And then we need to roll on that list to see whose cabin this is and who's in the cabin.
So there's currently 5 things. Sadia, my wife.
Okay.
Drali, your lost lover.
My lost lover.
Oh my god.
If that guy's in this cabin, I swear to God.
Our friend Richard. Mm-hmm. The deep gnome that we just left.
Oh, that'd be creepy. That would be creepy.
Or, also creepy, a demon.
The demon.
1, 2, 1. How many? 1?
So there's 5, right?
So should I roll a d6 and then if it's a 6, roll again?
Reroll, yeah.
Okay. 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. It's the deep gnome that we just left.
Oh my god!
So we are like wandering around looking for somewhere safe and we see a cabin.
Yes.
And we are like approaching this cabin.
We knock on the
like,
door.
Oh, yeah, like can we stay in here? Like everywhere else looks kind of like drab.
Maybe what's up with this guy?
That is so creepy. Okay. And he's in there. And we recognize him.
Yeah.
And he recognizes us.
Okay.
So then there's this moment of just like
what?
Like, how did he do it? Does he have teleportation?
Is he even the one doing this?
Is he willingly there? Yeah.
Is there something going on and we are supposed to meet this gnome and befriend him? We don't even speak the same language.
Right. Okay. Holy crap, this is so weird.
So, I'm going to say that my character is filled with, like, superstitious thoughts that, like, okay, this is meant to be, obviously. Something's going on. There's some glitch that's happening in reality.
My character is terrified. Like, just completely, like... Because we left him down there, so, like, yeah, Jill is terrified.
So
right
how is the gnome reacting? Do you think?
So we need to figure out how he's reacting.
Yeah,
that is a perfect question.
Okay.
Let's see.
Is he freaked out or does he know what's going on? You know what I mean?
Right. Like, okay, so we could roll on one of these charts in Xanathar's again, because there's one here, it says there's a relationship thing. And it is hostile, friendly, or indifferent.
Okay.
So, like, those are 3 completely different moods.
I don't think that really answers our question, though.
Of, like, which question?
Well, I'm wondering whether he, like, came here, whatever trickery, was it his? Or has he been Is he as surprised as we are that
Okay.
he's there? Do you know what I mean?
Right. So do you want to roll like a
Well,
what do you okay.
Okay,
you wanna ask Fates?
it's a yes or no question, right?
Okay, let's
Yeah.
do it. Okay. What is our question specifically?
So, is this gnome surprised to be where he is?
Okay. So what likeliness, like what likelihood are we working with?
That he is surprised.
Do we feel like he's surprised, or are we thinking
Well,
that
that's a hard question, because you and I would
50-50?
think that he's surprised because we don't understand how he could have gotten here. But out, like, from a metagame perspective,
So we could say 50-50,
sure.
whether he's surprised or not. So we're at Chaos Rank 6 and at 50-50. So do you want to roll a D100?
Lokiwi says, I wish these adventurers would stop stalking me.
Right? Like, we just show up again in his home.
His other very far away home.
Yeah.
85 is what I got.
No, he is not surprised.
So
Okay. So you asked if he was surprised that he's there, or is he surprised in general?
surprised that he's there is
That
the question.
he's there.
Yeah, so
But we don't know if he's surprised if we show up.
Right,
Was he expecting us?
right. Do we want to ask
Do you
that
want to
as
say
well?
50-50?
Sure.
50-50 if he was expecting us or not?
Sure.
Okay, roll
A D100?
D100.
72.
72. What was my question? Oh, no.
Is he surprised that we're there?
So is he surprised that we are there?
Yeah.
He is not surprised.
Okay,
that
so
we're there.
he's not surprised that he's there, and he's not surprised that we're there, which means that he traveled here expecting that we would come here.
Yes. He wanted us there for a reason. Like, he saw what happened in his home, and he was kind of like, okay, I need to, and then he showed up in his cabin, and, like, is the cabin even real? We don't know.
Yeah.
Is this, like, we have no idea what's going on right now. He does, though, seemingly.
Yes. But do we know that? Can we do like a insight?
Like, insight check, that's a good idea.
So I'll do an insight check and I'll guide myself.
Okay, I think I'm too freaked out by all of this to do a good insight check.
Okay.
So I'll let you do the insight check.
Ooh. I got 22.
Oh yeah, you easily can tell that
okay.
He's not surprised.
And he doesn't.
Meanwhile, I'm like,
do we want to ask if he's like friendly to us?
ooh.
Like, is he hostile or
So we want to do that little chart thing?
which chart thing?
The one that I mentioned where it's like
Oh,
hostile,
sure,
friendly,
sure.
or indifferent?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So that was on page. Here, I have it up here. So roll 3d4.
And then total?
Yeah.
8. Why would
He's friendly. He's friendly.
Oh my gosh.
Cool.
Okay. So he wants to be friends. So I'll explain
Okay.
this to you. I'll be like, listen, I believe he's here on purpose and knew that we would come this way, and I don't believe he's hostile towards us.
How are we going to communicate with him?
Well, we've managed so far.
Yeah, I guess we haven't been doing too bad.
Yeah.
Um,
What languages does he speak again?
he speaks Gnomish, Terran, and Undercommon.
Ooh, my lights just flickered.
Mine too. Oh my gosh. So, okay. We didn't really write down the start of this scene. Did your lights flicker?
Loki.
Oh, yours did too? Oh my gosh. It's like everyone's lights are just ready to bust. Okay. So he's friendly. He knows we were coming. Oh, this is messed up. This is so weird. And we don't know how to speak with him yet.
Well, okay. So listen, we need
he's going to give us something.
Yeah, let's
like maybe he's giving us a map or a trinket, or I was supposed to roll for a trinket. I'll do that.
After?
I'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't we gesture like, hey, can we come in? Because we're trying to find a place to take a rest and heal up, right?
Yeah. And since he's friendly, I think he would let us in.
He's trying to, that's the point, I think. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we go into his cabin.
I've heard of trinkets before. What's the name of it? Where it's like a little figurine in your pocket, but when you use it, it turns into like a little structure, like a little hut.
Oh, yeah. So maybe that's what this is.
Now. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. So it's like a pop-up tent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cabin. Pop-up cabin.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Okay, so we go in.
Do you want to?
He has like a little fire going.
Some food.
Bed. Yeah. Maybe he has 2 beds ready.
Yeah.
You know, like creepy. Maybe it's like he knew we were coming.
Yeah.
He's not surprised that we're here. So he knew we were coming, and he knew we'd need help.
Yeah. Should we take our
short rest?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna spend our short rest just like trying to communicate with this person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask maybe, is he trying to give us something?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'd say there's at least a 50-50, if not more, chance that he's trying to give us something. What do you think?
Well, it's either... Okay, let's say 50-50. And
Okay.
I think it's like he's either trying to give us something or he's trying to get our help with something.
Okay, this is hard. Because we can only ask a yes or no question.
Well, can we ask 2 yes or no?
We can. So we want to start with... Which one do we want to start with?
Well, why don't we start with the one you thought of, which is, is he trying to give us something? And then if that's a no, we'll ask another.
Oh, shoot. I got an extreme yes that he's trying to give us
something. Oh, so it's like
7.
So that means it's like something pretty sweet?
It's significant. Like whatever he's giving. Okay, so what that struck to me is that I think he knows a lot more about us than... I think he knows a lot more about us than we thought. Yeah. I think he saw us and he was able to somehow understand some stuff. And I think what he gave me is a clue to where my lost lover is.
Sure.
I think it's a letter from my lost lover, Delaney or whatever his name was.
Whatever.
Or like a map, like something very concrete that I have a lot, like a vested interest
We now kind of know where he is.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what he gave me, like a map, maybe. Map and a letter, like just this, like 2 items that are like...
So, this is interesting.
You're meant to have
so maybe, he like recognized you because he knows your long-lost lover.
Yeah.
From somewhere. Mm-hmm. And recognized you because of all the tales that he's surely telling about you all the time to everybody that he meets.
Maybe there's like a drawing of me in the pile.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is how I knew you.
Can you see the cat?
What are you doing? Yes.
He's trying to get into the laundry basket.
Okay, so what was the second question? It was, does he want us to do him a favor or him to...
we were only going to ask that second question if the answer was no to this one. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would definitely be like, already I was like frightened a minute ago, and then we're like sitting down, he's giving us like hot beverages and food, and then he like springs this on me at the end of an hour that we were like chilling with him and just kind of awkwardly doing a bit of charades.
Yes.
So I think I would be really like emotional about it and grateful. And like, where did you get this?
Yeah.
But he won't be able to really tell me because you can't have that kind of back and forth communication.
Right. Yeah.
And maybe he would just kind of gesture at the map a bit, like, you know, like
here. Yeah.
Like, you know, this is all I can give you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Aww. Holy moly. So I guess that ends that little scene.
Yes. So that was scene 3. That was scene 3, right? We haven't written anything.
That was an altered scene. That
we're gonna call it cabin. Well, okay. So wait.
Short rest first, and then cabin.
Well, okay. So I thought that for the scene we wrote down like what it was supposed to be.
It was supposed to be. Yeah, we were supposed.
So it was just supposed to be short rest in the woods.
Short rest, and then it got altered.
Short rest in the woods. Really. And then do we write... Like, I'm still not really sure what the purpose of the scene stuff is. So do we write...
let me look it up real quick just to make sure. The setup. So when you are setting it up, yeah, you have your list of characters, you have your chaos factor, and then you have your threads. So step 1, set the scene. Before a scene can begin, you need to have some idea just what you think is going to happen.
Yeah.
As with all things Mythic, keep this logical, based on what has already happened, but what do the players expect the next scene to be? So we expect it to be a short rest.
Yeah.
The scene setup will usually depend on what the players decide to do. If your characters are investigating a murder, the players may decide to question a witness. The next scene then is at the witness's home. So it's just you're setting the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Use what you already know and apply a little logic. When deciding on the scene, don't include too much detail, just give enough color to get the scene started. Details will work themselves out as you play the scene.
Okay.
So it's basically just you're writing out what you think the scene's... Like, we just missed it. So we were just supposed to write short rest in the woods.
So we don't need to write anything more there.
No.
Okay.
Like, how I do this with my own personal game when I'm not streaming it is that at the end of a scene, I write down everything that happened during the scene. Like, I'm basically creating a narrative for myself.
Yeah.
But since we're streaming it, we don't really need that step because we have the flicker, because we have this documentation built in inherently in streaming.
Yeah.
So the scene setup is just supposed to be,
so
here's what we think's going to happen.
Okay.
And then we can alter it or interrupt it or play it out as it's meant to be.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we don't need to write anything else down then.
Right. So I think since our lights are flickering and I mean, I think we kind of came to a pretty cool conclusion here at the end of our short rest.
Yes.
And we have kind of like maybe a new thread.
No, my plant.
Did he knock over your plant?
Yeah. Well,
Fish.
It seems okay, but I will have to...
He can't be perfect.
Little
He
jerk.
can't be perfect all the time.
Don't...
It reminds me...
Get out of there.
Fish.
Go away. We have to go.
Yeah, we gotta go. Thank you for watching and watching us try out Mythic Game Master Emulator.
Yeah.
We're gonna just get better and better at this as we go. I think this was a pretty interesting beginning, and we have somewhere cool to go from here. We'll update our threads and stuff in a moment. Kate's got to rescue her plant, so from her ferocious feline predator.
Oh man.
And but yeah, thank you for watching.
Thanks
I
for
hope
watching,
you guys had
everyone.
fun.
Like I said, we do plan to continue this. So like, you know, any Tuesday when we don't have anything else going on, this is what we're going to be doing. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, thanks for watching. And if you have ever tried some DM-less like solo RPG type stuff, let us know about it.
Yeah.
And take care of yourselves.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.